If you have been keeping an eye on the tech world lately, you have probably heard the word AI agents. AI agents are everywhere in your LinkedIn feed, news headlines, and even startup pitches. And there's a good reason for that. In 2025, there's a lot of talk going about AI agents, and moving forward into 2026, we hope that AI agents will move from cool experiments to real business game changers. In this video, I will break down everything you need to know to get started to learn AI agents in 2026, and then we will discuss a real life example of AI agents, and we will see it in comparison to a non-agentic system. And in the end, we will discuss a complete roadmap to learn AI agents in 2026. So, starting with the very basic thing, what exactly is an AI agent? Now, think of an AI agent as a reliable teammate who works 24/7 without coffee breaks, and you give it some goal like organize customer support tickets. Or if you are running some e-commerce store, then you can give it some goal like research trending product in my niche. And what it does is it figures out the steps, carries them out, and only come back to you when the job is done. So think of it like this. If we can take it in a more technical language, think of it like we have a fully autonomous system that has a reasoning abilities, and it can choose different tools that are connected to it, all without having any human guidance. Now, here we have a formal definition that I got from AI itself. An AI agent is a program that can take a goal, figure out the steps needed to achieve it, and execute those steps. Now, here execution is the main part. In LLMs, they don't execute. We just got a reply. If we can say something like write an email or write an essay, we just got a reply, and they don't send email to the specific person. So here AI agent can execute those steps using external tools or live data without constant human guidance. Now here's the thing. People always ask, how is an AI agent different from regular AI tools we always use? And honestly, that's a fair question because on the surface, everything looks same. You type something and they reply, and then the job is done. But when you look a bit deeper, they are not same at all. Yes, AI agents are powered by LLMs, but they are not LLMs. Most of the AI tools we use like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, they are like super smart consultants. You ask for some advice or something, and they give you an answer, and that's it. And then the entire conversation disappears. They don't remember what happened 5 minutes ago unless you remind them. They don't go off and complete the task. They react to whatever was the input that was given by a user. And it's like calling an helpline. You explain your issue and they give you a certain instructions, and then the calls end. Yeah, we are moving towards more advanced and intelligent systems. Like ChatGPT can now call few tools from it, like Canva and others. But when we build AI agents in next few videos, you will see we can attach almost any tool available on the internet through an API. Now, an AI agent is completely different from the LLM. Agents don't just answer a question, they take on a complete task, and they hold the context. They have the memory. They can track the progress. They adopt on something that can change. And they go out to use tools, APIs, check live data, send emails, update databases, and many other things without you babysitting them through every tiny move. Now, here I have written few steps, but instead, let me give you an example. For example, think of it like this. A normal LLM can help you find a restaurant, but an AI agent will find the restaurant, look for the table, check traffic, and text your friend, and then even remind you to leave on time, all on itself. That's the main difference between an LLM and the AI agent. Now, just to give you that quick fix of AI agent knowledge, and we will revisit this later when we build our first agent. What is the anatomy of an AI agent? What are the different parts that make one up? So here is the simple diagram that I think illustrates AI agent as simple as possible. We have an input, we have our LLM, and we have our output, like we talked about earlier. But then inside the AI agent, you can see two main things. The first thing is a brain. This comes in the form of large language models. This is an AI chat model that we will choose whether it's an OpenAI model or Anthropic model or Google model. This is going to be what powers the AI agent, and it will help us to make decision, to reason, to generate outputs, that sort of stuff. And then we also have the memory. So this can come in the form of long-term memory and short-term memory. But basically, we want to make sure that if we are conversating with our agent, it's not going to forget what we are talking about after every single sentence. It's going to retain that context window. And it can also remember things that we talked about a while back. And then the other piece is the instructions. And the instructions for AI agent, this is really important. And it can also refer as a system prompt. Then this is telling this AI agent that here's your role, here's what you do. It is basically like your job description. And the system prompt is different than the user message or user prompt. Think of it like this. When you are talking to ChatGPT or any other LLM, it treats every single message that you are typing and sending it off is like a user message, because that input changes every time. It's dynamic. But the system prompt is going to remain the same over the agent's life, unless the role or actual instruction are going to change. But anyways, let's take an example. Let's say the input is, can you help me send an email to John? And what's going to happen? The agent going to use its brain, understand the input, and it's going to check its memory to see if there's any other interaction that would help with the current input. Then it will look at the instructions and see, okay, how do I even actually send an email to John? So then it will call on its tools. Like if we attach an email tool, so it will call on email tool. And this is the basically an high level overview of an AI agent structure. So we have the brain, we have the instructions, and then we have the tools. So these are the three main components. And in every AI agent, these remains constant. So that is the anatomy of an AI agent. And I hope that helps paint a clear picture in your mind. Now moving forward, this image explains how an AI agent works by combining input triggers, external tools, and large language models to automate intelligent workflows. And the process starts with an input. This could be a user action, a CRM event, or a webhook trigger. The AI agent receives the input and acts as a central brain. It uses its logic that can be powered by some LLM like ChatGPT, Claude, or any other to understand the context and to make decisions. And it will also determine what actions to take now and to complete the task. The AI agent does not work alone. It uses connected tools like APIs, CRMs, email systems, voice assistants, and some other. For example, it might fetch customer data using one tool, send a message using another, or update a system using a third tool. These tools extend the AI agent capabilities beyond just text generation. And here on the right side of the image, we see a real world scenario, and we have an input from HubSpot trigger. And then this input triggers the AI agent. The AI agent uses LLMs to interpret the input and generate smart responses, while tools handle execution. And here we have tools like Gmail. Maybe it will send follow-up emails or any email action you can perform. This combination makes AI agent powerful, context aware, and goal oriented. Now let's move a bit more further and let's look at agentic versus non-agentic workflows. And this is where the difference between using an AI and using an AI agent become obvious. A non-agentic workflow is simple and linear. You give a tool an instruction or single prompt. It performs one task and then it stops. In this case, a non-agentic workflow writes a complete essay on any given topic from start to finish without any thinking or research. And it does not have any feedback loop, thinking, or research loop. It's a linear flow. Like we prompt an LLM, like ChatGPT. We just give it a prompt and it writes complete essay. While an agentic workflow works in a completely different way. Instead of just doing one task and stopping, it takes your goal and figure out all the steps needed to reach it. In this case, an agentic workflow writes an essay on topic X. The agent first creates an outline. Then it checks if any web research is needed. Then it writes a first draft. Then it reviews which part need revision or more data. Then it runs extra research if necessary. And then refines the draft before handling it to us. We can also add human in the loop that just check the final essay or let's say a blog post. Then it will upload onto your WordPress website, all without having to guide you on each step. This seems interesting, but we will cover all these things or example in practical details in next videos. So make sure to subscribe the channel. For now, we are going to cover a business example. And if we were building out a workflow, what it would look like side by side if it was agentic versus non-agentic. So we are going to use an example where we are building a resume screening system and we are receiving resumes through an online portal or email, and we want to process those resumes to extract key candidate information like name, contact details, skills, years of experience, and any role specific qualifications. And these resumes could come in many different formats: a PDF, a Word document, a plain text in the body of an email, or even scanned image of a printed resume. Now we have two flows here. On left side, how this could be done in a non-agentic way, and on the right side, how it could be done in an agentic way. So first on the left side, the non-agentic workflow follows a single linear path. It takes each resume, passes it through an AI or LLM to extract the candidate information, and then tries to match that output to a fixed template. For example, looking for name, email, skills, experience in predefined places. If the data extraction succeeds, then the data is stored in the database. And if it fails, the system flags an error and stops. And this flow doesn't care about what type of resumes comes in. It treats a PDF, a scanned image, a plain text, all exactly in the same way. If it's only designed to handle text and can't process images or PDFs, it simply fails. There's no adoption, no branching based on the any input type, and there is no retry logic as well. It's one size fits all approach. So in summary, it's non-agentic because there is no decision or adoption in the flow. There is no feedback loop or any retry logic. It could be connected to tools, but it doesn't choose which to use based on the input from the user. And finally, the output is always fixed, the same process and the same type of results every time, regardless of the resume format. Now, if we contrast this with an agentic resume screening workflow, here when a resume is received, the system first classifies the input. Is it a PDF, a Word document, a plain text, or an image? Then it dynamically decides which part to take. If it's a PDF, it uses a PDF text extractor. If it's an image, it runs OCR to get the text. And if it's already in plain text, it skips straight to the parsing. Once the context is extracted, it passes through an AI agent that parses and structures the candidate information. And then there's another validation step. Then AI process check if the extraction is complete and meets the criteria. If something is missing, such as contact details, or skills. The system loops back, perhaps trying a different extraction method from any of these three, or rerunning the OCR with different settings. And in summary, this is an agentic because it makes decision about which route to take based on the input from the user. It has a feedback loop. It can even process its own output again to improve the results. And it can be connected to multiple tools and it can choose them dynamically. And most importantly, it produces variable outputs based on variable input types. We don't expect the same output every time because the resumes themselves vary. So here we have few differences between non-agentic and agentic system. I have already discussed all of them, but let's quickly recap. Non-agentic system follows the fixed process. It have a single pass check and they have no adjustment based on input types and work on predefined format. While in agentic system, it have ability to take actions or decisions and it also have a feedback loop. So it can review its own results. It can use different tools based on the user requirements and it has a variable output based on variable inputs. Now let's look at a few real world business cases where we might compare a non-agentic workflow with an AI agent. First, we have a customer service chatbot. In a non-agentic workflow, the chatbot only answers pre-programmed questions with static replies. An AI agent, on the other hand, can actually understand the customer intent, pull data from multiple systems like your CRM, order database, or sport history, and then take action to fully resolve the issue without a human needing to step in. And similar to this, if we have a system for social media automation, a non-agentic workflow here just posts pre-scheduled contact at fixed times. And with an AI agent, you might still have a pre-approved content bank. But instead of blindly posting, it checks engagement patterns, sees what type of content perform best, and picks something similar based on live analytics from the platform itself. And finally, let's talk about search engine optimization or SEO automation. A non-agentic workflow will use the same keyword list month after month and publish articles on a fixed schedule without reacting to any changing in ranking behaviors. While an AI agent is checking your Google Search Console data every week, it flags underperforming pages, sees what keywords are gaining or losing traction, and then suggests updated headlines, new internal links, or takes to meta descriptions, all pulled from an approved list you have provided in advance. Now, an SEO guy can relate to this. If you are in SEO, you probably know how important it is to update internal links, how important it is to constantly fine tune your meta descriptions or headlines. So, in each of these cases, the jump from rigid non-agentic process to an AI-driven agent is the difference between simply running on autopilot and actually intelligently reacting to what's happening in real time. And before we wrap up, I have a great graphics to show you guys that I found on LinkedIn and it was shared by Suleiman Najam and in which we have complete roadmap to learn AI agents. And I personally think that's a very fair roadmap if you want to excel in this field and not just stick with some automation platforms that we have like N10, Zapier, or even Make.com. So if you have bit understanding of these platforms, you probably know that N10 rolled out a workflow builder few days back. And these tools are getting more advanced day by day. So it's more easy for anyone or clients to build AI agents very easily. And if you want to excel in this field, so you must have some good technical skills to keep up the pace. Now imagine this is a complete journey and not just a crash course. And first get comfortable with generative AI. Now AI agents, we have generative AI, we have AI agents, we have agentic AI. We will explain all these terms in next few videos. But first, get comfortable with generative AI. Play around with text and image models and ask them different questions and see how they reply and what is the pattern. Next, learn the basis of large language model, what they are, how they predict text, and why temperature, tokens, and context window matters. And then one of the most important thing right now is prompt engineering. Practice writing prompts that get clear and consistent answers. Try rewording the same question three different ways and see what changes. While you are doing that, also start learning how to handle data and how to clean that data and how to make it from a raw data into a good shape. And we would then definitely feed that data into the models. Practice some ETL task. ETL is extract, transform, and load. And then load CSVs, normal text, chunk that documents, and the most important skill you can have in 2026 or even 2027 is RAG. That is retrieval augmented generation. It's how agent answer questions using real documents. Now we have to store those documents into vector stores. And basically this is getting a bit too technical now, but don't get confused. We will discuss all these things in the future videos. So basically this is a roadmap we have to follow. And then run some basic retrieval pipeline. Feed that data into the vector store and retrieve it. And watch how responses become grounded in your data. Are these responses even accurate, or LLM is just generating itself? Then move into practical tooling. Learn an API wrapper. Now, if you don't know about wrappers, and API wrapper are basically little helper tools that make your life easier. Instead of writing a long, complicated API request, you just call a simple function. Like if we want to translate the text, instead of writing the whole code, we just pass a query like translate and text, and it handles everything behind the scenes. So what API wrapper does is these let you call models from the code, and they are the bridge between the idea and the execution. And from there, then explore an agentic framework that give you a structure for multi-step tasks and tool use. For example, you can try Crew AI if you want to see how real agent planning and tool execution works. Or you can even try something more simple like LangGraph. And if you prefer low code or no code tools, N10 is perfect because you can visually build the whole agent. You can watch the data flow through the different nodes. You can watch how it handle planning, tools, execution, and you can even handle failures in N10 with that background. Then build a very simple agent. Give it one goal. For example, find the best price for this product and email me the result. This is the most simpler agent that you can build. Then wire up a web scrap step, a decision step, and send an email step. Then test that agent, and after that, break that agent. Then make it more robust. Next, learn about agent memory because this is the most important step. Because without any memory, any agent is not a production ready. So, learn about short term memory and long term memory and practice storing conversation state, user preferences, and task histories. Then set up a basic evaluation. How do you measure success? Create simple metrics like task completion, accuracy of retrieved facts, and latency. And then gradually experiment with multi-agent scenarios. This is what agentic AI is. Two agents collaborating on a task, splitting the responsibilities, and passing messages. And finally, combine everything with agentic RAG. Use retrieval inside your agent loops. So the agent always work from the fresh and relevant knowledge. and it can retrieve the data from your database, your website, or the document you have loaded. And once you have done that couple of times, you will be ready to make a fully autonomous agent that can solve a real life problem. So this is our main goal. Basically, we have to identify a problem. Then we have to make an AI agent that will solve that problem. And all that clients or any other companies cares about is solving the problem, not about how many nodes or how many modules you are connected to an agent. It's all about how efficiently it solves that particular problem. So this is the roadmap I will try to take and share with videos on this topic in this YouTube channel. And first we will cover the no code low code tools like n10, and I will definitely start with n10 because it's open source. And if you learn n10, you can use any automation platform, Zapier, make.com, Flowwise. You can learn any others. And then we will move toward building AI SaaS using no code low code tools like Replit, Bolt, and Lovable. So we will try not to use too much code so everyone can follow along. Even a non-technical background person can build an AI SaaS. And then we will move towards coding part. Then we will cover Python, LangChain, LangGraph, Creo AI, and other than AI agents. I will be making videos about what's happening on the AI space. And we will also go into the core of AI like machine learning, deep learning, and neural networks. So we will cover all those things on this channel. So this is probably going to be a long journey. So definitely consider subscribing to this channel if you want to learn AI from the basics to the all way up to the advanced techniques. And if you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification so you don't miss the next deep dive. And if you want me to cover anything specific like something like agents, automation, N10, or any other thing in AI space, do let me know in the comments. So I will add this into my list.